Trial and improvement. Now this topic is actually a grade C topic, but it comes up in the higher paper, so if it does come up, you've got to get this one right. It's a nice easy source of marks, usually 4 marks. The questions are usually find the solution to one decimal place to the following equation using trial and improvement. Okay, what is trial and improvement? Trial and improvement is where you make a guess for your x, okay, and you try and work out what x cubed minus 4x is, see how close it is to 10. Based on that guess, you try and improve your guess, and that's where the improvement side of things come on. You keep going along until you get an answer for x that's correct to one decimal place. There's a very formulaic way of doing this, which I'll show you. You do this each time. The first thing you always do, usually the question actually draws a table for you, but if not, you draw yourself a table. In this column, it's your x value. In this column, it's your value that you get when you work out x cubed minus 4x. And in the third column, it's a comment column where you talk about too high or too low. Okay, step 1. Never start straight with decimal guesses. You always have to start in the same way. So step 1, you need to find 2 consecutive whole numbers. That's whole numbers after each other, like 3 and 4 or 11 and 12. So find 2 consecutive whole numbers, okay, where one's too big, one has to be too big, and the other is too small. Okay, let's try and do this. Let's choose x is, let's say, 2 here. If I chose x as 2, then I'll work out what this is. This is 2 cubed minus 4 times 2, which is 0. And that is clearly less than 10, so small, too small. Okay, don't jump to a bigger number now. Go for consecutive numbers. Try x is 3 here. If you tried that, you would get 3 cubed minus 4 times 3, and that's 27, take away 12, which is 15, and that's too big. So we've done step 1. The consecutive numbers are 2 and 3. At that stage, now you find 2 consecutives are an unusual word, but 2 numbers to 1 dp, where they're too big, too small. Same thing. And consecutive in the sense that, say you pick 8.1 and 8.2. You do not jump to 2 dp's here or anything like that. You go to 1 dp now. Now if you look at this, it seems to me that x is going to be closer to 3 than it is to 2, because when you put in 3 you get about 15. So I'm going to try 2.7. So on my calculator I'm going to work out 2.7 cubed, take away 4 times 2.7. And when I do that, I get about 8.9, which is small. Okay, so 3 is too big, 2.7 is too small. I'll have to go a bit higher. Let's try 2.8 now. If I do 2.8 cubed minus 4 times 2.8, I get myself about 10.8, which is too big. And I've done step 2. These are like consecutive decimals to 1 dp, and one's too small and one's too big. Okay, I'm nearly there now with the answer, but I must always do the following thing. I think to myself, I have tried 2.7 and my answer was small. I have tried 2.8 and my answer was big. To double check which of these it's closer to, because I only want my answer to 1 dp, I need to check the number in between, which is 2.75. So I must always do this check. There's always a mark for this. So I work out 2.75 cubed minus 4 times 2.75. And I get 9.8, about 9.8, which again is small. So at 2.75 it's small. So I draw myself a little picture like that. That makes it as clear as day to me that if 2.7 is too small and 2.75 is too small, the answer must be slightly closer to 2.8. So the answer to 1 decimal place is x equals 2.8 to 1 decimal place. Okay, so you always do it in this way. Draw yourself a table, find 2 consecutive numbers where 1's too big, 1's too small. Then and only then go to 1 decimal place. Find 2 consecutive numbers to 1 decimal place where 1's too big, 1's too small. And then check the number halfway in between. Draw yourself a little diagram so you know what's going on. And then state your answer to 1 decimal place as clearly as possible. Okay, I've got you an example to do for yourself here. Try this example and I'll pause the video, I'll pause talking, then you can check your answer, see if you got it right, and afterwards move straight on to the exam questions and try and work through those. Here you go, here is the question I would like you to try. And here is the answer to that question. Check you got it right and check you did all the workings as I suggested you do in the previous tutorial. Here's the answer. And the answer was x is equal to 1.9 to 1 decimal place. And here are my workings. Okay, thank you very much for listening to this tutorial. I hope you found it useful and you got yourself a revision card out of this. Now it's time to move on to the trial and improvement exam question video, where you try each question based on what we've just learnt now, see if you get the right answer, and I'll work through those solutions as well. Okay, thank you very much, and move on now to the exam paper questions.